What's up, world? I am TJ, and this is Nativerezmedia, your place for opinionated tech news, reviews, and entertainment. And today, I'll be bringing you a 1.5, a little bit more, update on my Steam Deck that I've been using. I'll be going over some of the things that I've learned since then, some of the accessories that I've been using, and some of the cons that I've come across. Other than that, this will be very simple. I'll try to keep this short and sweet, under 15 minutes if I can. Without further ado, let's jump right into this. We're going to start off by going over the Steam Deck itself and this little skin that I have on here. So looks a little bit different, and I do also have a screen protector on here. This is one of those touch type screen protectors that doesn't interfere with the touch, because I've read on Amazon a lot of screen protectors that you just buy, they will interfere with the touch that response on the Steam Deck screen itself. I hardly ever use my Steam Deck's touch, but when I do, I want it to be responsive. So it was a 2-pack. I think it was like $10 for that. I'll place a link to all these things in the description down below. The skin itself, it's not a D brand skin. It's one of those $9.99 Amazon skins. I'll place a link for this down below. Added a little bit of color to it. It's a full deck skin there, top, bottom, of course. It's a vinyl skin, I believe, and putting it on was fairly simple. Most of the lines lined up decent enough for me. Nothing perfect, but everything looks good and it feels good, and it gives my Steam Deck a little bit more protection. The case that I am using is here. This is one of those stiffer TPU type cases. This does have an inbuilt kickstand on the back. You just pop it open, it locks into place. You can lean the Steam Deck up, or you can close it. It locks into place that way as well. Has a couple of vents on the back here for a little bit of added airflow to the actual case itself. These are not lining up with any vents on the back of the Steam Deck, but I'm assuming help dissipate some of the heat from the back of the actual deck. And then you have your intake at the bottom, you have your exhaust at the top, you have all your buttons, your volume rocker and things like that. And then on the bottom, one thing that I didn't like about this case, because I don't like it about the Steam Deck itself, the micro SD card slot. As you can see, I had to Dremel this out because it was too small. You couldn't get your fingers in there if you wanted to swap out your micro SD card. So I opened it up a little bit, and now I can pop that SD card out and pull it out with my fingers with the case on. I didn't do a great job of Dremel on that. I could have smoothed it out a little bit more, and it would be a little bit better. But hey, it works. This case doesn't occlude any of the buttons, but the top bumpers, if you don't have a case on here, you can have your fingers rest on the top here and just slide them down and press the bumpers. With the case on, you have to come up from the bottom, and I can kind of show you better than I can. So if you're looking there, see how the case is up at the top? If I have my fingers rest up here, I can go down on that lip that way, but usually your fingers are rest here, you just come up and press them here. But if this wasn't here, I can rest them here, I can rest them anywhere and get to this top bumper. That's it. Most of my gameplay, I'm fine with the case on here. It feels good. It adds that extra protection to these corners. So that's the main reason why I wanted to put a case on here, and also for the back grips here, so that when I put them on a hard surface, they don't get scraped up. Now, next, I'm gonna go to the dock that I've been using. OG JSOX dock here. It's I think the first one. It's 4K 60 frames per second. Again, I don't really hook this up to a 4K monitor unless it's hooked up to my main television in there. But mine, 1080p, 1440p, works just fine at 60 frames per second. This one does have the two USB 2.0 slots, not the 3.0. I would like to get the one with 3.0, but for now these will work for what I'm using it for. If I'm transferring any large files, I have this dongle that I had from Walmart. It's the own brand, 4K 30 frames per second now, but it'll output 1080p 60, 1440p 60 with no issues. It does have a USB 3.0 slot on the side here, along with that 100 watt power input. This is what I use if I need to stick a hard drive or anything on here, USB, for some fast transfers. And if I need to use my micro SD card slot or just a regular SD card, I have a dongle for that, to where it has 3 USB 3.0, so I can daisy chain all this together, stick it in my Steam Deck, and be good to go for some file transfers. So I'm gonna stick that off to the side, stick this off to the side. Oh, and on the back, you can see a little dongle plug for my wireless mouse here. And I've been using these two PlayStation 4 controllers that I bought from Amazon. They range anywhere from $15 to $24. This one is actually on sale. I'm going to put up a review. I don't know if I'm going to put it up before this or after this for both of these controllers. I exclusively use these with the Steam Deck. I have a real DualShock controller. I have the Steam Deck's controller. I have wireless Xbox and wired controllers. I prefer to use the DualShock ones, especially these inexpensive ones when I'm doing any traveling or going and about. If I'm going to be connecting all this to the Steam Deck on someone else's television, which I have, playing Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers, things like that, where I've had multiple players on the screen playing around with my Steam Deck. And then lastly, one other accessory, of course, Bluetooth keyboard. Got a folding one here. I actually stole that from the girlfriend. She had it, wasn't using it. Works good with the Steam Deck, Bluetooth connected, and I'm good when I'm in desktop mode if I need a keyboard for on-the-go usage. I don't know. I've looked for it. I can't find it, so I can't find links to it. I think she said she wanted. So I'll put a link to a couple other ones that I've been looking at that I'm going to be trying out here in the near future down in the description box. And then on the Steam Deck itself, I installed Decky so that I can get Vibrant Deck, so I can increase the saturation on my Steam Deck itself, which that is something that I would recommend to anyone if you want that extra saturation so that you can kind of get that OLED look without the deep blacks. But it will brighten it up a little bit as far as getting those colors to pop. I do like it. The Steam Deck as it was stock looked decent to me. It was good. It was no better than either one of my main computer monitors, but increasing that saturation a little bit does give it a little bit more pop. The control mapping on the Steam Deck is also very awesome. You can go in there and map anything to anything as far as these controls and the buttons on the back. They did a very good job with the control mapping, and then to be able to go online and download others' control schemes and save yours to the Steam workshop is also awesome. So one game that I had that I have on here is Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. If you search that game and search for usage on computers, or if you download it on Steam, control input, it sucks for that game for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I've been able to go into the Steam, map just a regular keyboard layout to all the controls on the Steam Deck, and I'm able to play Dynasty Warriors 9 with no issues. And I saved it, uploaded that control scheme to the workshop, and I'm sure some other people can make some use of it. And that's something that I like about the Steam Deck, to be able to do that. Another thing that I like about the Steam Deck is something that others have been talking about, is to be able to pause my game without actually pausing the game, just pressing the power button, putting it to sleep, and then coming back later, playing that game somewhere else at some other time. Something else that I've been using, Moonlight. I don't know if you've heard of it. Basically, you install Moonlight on here. You can search for it, and I put links down below as well on how to get that installed on your Steam Deck. And if you have a beefy enough computer, mine's got a 3080 in it. I have decent Wi-Fi in my house, Wi-Fi 6. I can actually play games on my Steam Deck in the living room or upstairs that stream from my computer as they are playing. It will stop the computer audio, so you won't see any audio, but the screen will show the game you're playing. It's kind of like how it is in VR, but it will actually be playing on my Steam Deck. I can stream to this in 1080p, even though this is 800p screen on here, but it actually ups the clarity a little bit, I think, and makes it a little bit more clear. Downside, if you do that 1080p streaming, 19 by 1080p, there's going to be a black border at the top and the bottom. You can set a custom scheme on here, a custom resolution, so that you won't have that black bar. I just haven't went that far into it. I just don't mind at all. And yeah, Moonlight plays very good. I play some Gotham Knights, streaming to the Steam Deck, 60 frames per second. No issues, no stutters, looks good. There is no delay in the controls. Well, there's probably delay, but nothing that I can really tell, that's going to hinder me from being able to play that game and enjoy it. Sound sounds good coming out of the speakers. I can also Bluetooth headphones to this while using Moonlight, get great sound going to them, and it's actually coming from my PC. Some of the games that I've been playing on my Steam Deck, so installed right now on this SD card, I got Dirt 5, of course Gotham Knights installed on the Steam Deck itself. Frames on that, 24 to 30 frames per second, even on low settings. They definitely need to optimize that game. Still a fun game, but they need to optimize it. Street Fighter on here, that's Street Fighter 5. What else? Some of my favorites. I got Devil May Cry, of course. Dakar, Desert Rally, played that a little bit on here. Lower frames, 30 frames per second is the I think best that I can do, or that I have done. I'm sure I can go in there and play around with the settings and get it up a little bit. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends, fun game. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, Forza Horizon 5. There we go, and we're gonna go down to, I got Lego The Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Gotham Knights, Mario Golf, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, a lot of Mario games, Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Brothers, Warriors Orochi 4, or Arachi, and Spider-Man Remastered, and some Samurai Warriors. And I think I got some other games on my other SD card. But yeah, I've been enjoying this. I've been trying to play a lot of these games when I find the time. Of course, these Dynasty Warrior and Samurai Warriors games, they're just awesome. They're fun. It's just to go in there and just kill thousands of NPCs and have a good time doing that. If you've never played them, play them. They play great on the Steam Deck. You can pair 2 or 3 controllers, hook it up to your TV, and actually play 2 players, split screen, top bottom, from the Steam Deck. Of course, if you're playing a game that has 60 frames per second on a Steam Deck with one player, when you stream it to your computer, or when you dock it and hook it up to your television, it might not have 60, but it'll go down to maybe 30 or 45 frames on each of those screens. Completely playable without issues. When I played Mario Kart with 4 players from the Steam Deck, 1 player, 60 frames per second. When I had 4 on there, I think the frames were like 27 to 30 frames on each one of the screens, which is good. So that's what the Switch would do. One of the other cons that I had for the Steam Deck were these 2 buttons here, of course, the Steam button and the quick access button there. They're flat. They're kind of down in there, and the tactile feedback is not there at all. You got to push them. When you press them, it comes up, and you make sure it's there. But I prefer the start and the select button at the top here. They protrude a little bit more. They're more round. They have more tactile feedback, and I think these buttons should have been the same. But I mean, these will get you through. But if they went back and did a revision of this, that's something that they should look into. And something else that I glossed over when I was going over this case, other than these rubber backing things that it came with, it also came with some carbon fiber stickers here that go over the track pads. They feel nice, they look nice. I think it's pretty dope that this case came with all that for like 16 bucks. I'm going to order a carrying case for the Steam Deck eventually. The stock one works fine with this case as well, but I want to order a secondary one that's a little bit bigger so I can carry my extra charger and carry extra things inside of there as well, along with the dock. The stock case, of course, you can't carry a JSO dock or an iVolar dock or anything in that. So that's something that I do want to upgrade in the near future. Coming up on the end of this video, a couple of things that I did want to touch on. The battery life, which to me is a non-issue. And the Steam Deck verification kind of process. So the battery life, most people will complain, oh, it's AAA games, you're only getting an hour and a half, they need to increase the battery life. What do you expect? I mean, if you go buy a 3050, a 3060, any kind of laptop today, you don't have it plugged into a wall and you're playing AAA games, you're going to get an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of battery life, maybe 2.5. 3 if you turn down the screen and it's a light AAA game, but they're not going to last that long. Same as a Steam Deck. That's all it is. It's simply just a handheld laptop. So if you play a AAA game like Spider-Man, you're going to get an hour and a half to 2 hours on medium settings, which is good to me. I don't play that long, and if I'm taking a long trip, I'm going to bring a battery bank with me. That's just the nature of the beast this day and age, especially with technology all around. Or if I'm sitting at an airport somewhere, there's usually plugs where you can go plug in and get some juice from. But if you're taking a long car ride, yeah, bring a battery bank. You're going to need it if you play AAA games. But if you're not playing AAA games, if you're playing some of the little smaller light ones and some of the even some of the Switch games or some emulated games, things like that, you're going to get 3-4 hours of battery life without any issues, with the screen not even super dim, maybe 50%. If I'm using Moonlight with this, so if I'm around the house and I know I'm going to play a game on the Steam Deck that I already have on my PC, I'm going to use Moonlight, and I'm going to get 4 or 5 hours of playing time, no issues, because it's not using the internal GPU, CPU from the Steam Deck itself. Not as much. It's very light usage, and you can have the screen set a little bit brighter. And like I said, I'm going to get 4 or 5 hours, some more than that, from the Steam Deck. So that's why I say battery life to me is a non-issue. I haven't complained about it at all. And the last thing, that Steam Deck verification, I wish they had some kind of community verification on there as well, where, you know, those games that have the circle with the cross out on it were non-supported or non-verified Steam Deck games. You can have a fifth one or some other like little circle or something said, hey, verified by the community, and this is how you play it. That's it. I mean, other than that, I kind of understand why they don't want to do that, because the community can be a little bit flaky, and that's a big risk. But other than that, everything works pretty good on the Steam Deck. I've been enjoying it. The funny thing is, I got the Steam Deck and I wasn't going to keep it. I was like, I'm going to just test it out, play around with it, and I'll give it to my brother, or he can buy it off me or something like this, because I think he was going to get one. But I ended up keeping it because I liked it so much, and I don't even use my laptop. My PC, it's missing me. I don't use it that much. I use it to stream games to the Steam Deck. So it's very funny how this has changed my idea of playing games and what I do. I'm not a huge console gamer. I can tell you guys that right now. If there's a game that I play on PC that I like to use mouse and keyboard, I will play it on the PC. But even so, like, what is that? Theme Hospital or Theme Campus or whatever. I got a lot of games on Xbox, Game Pass, things like that I've been playing. That's one of the games where I can actually play in the living room from my computer on the Steam Deck, and learning the controls to use on learning to use the controls on the Steam Deck has been enjoyable, playing those types of games. So it's just something different. It's just something new and innovative, something that has changed the way that I play games today. So, hey, that's just the way it is. If you have the money, go ahead and get you one. Get the 64 gigabyte version, get you an SD card, good to go. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm going to go get back to gaming. Peace out.